everybody, and welcome to The Courageous Chick. I'm Shakia Mayer, and in this video we are going to talk about 5 ways to stop catastrophizing during a crisis. Now, just in case you aren't aware of what catastrophizing is, I made a video and I will link it in this video, put it in the description. I made a video talking about what catastrophizing is. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 ways to stop catastrophizing. Stop thinking of the worst case scenario. Stop having your thoughts snowball into the absolute worst case scenario. The first way or tip to stop catastrophizing is to practice acceptance. While it might sound simple, for a lot of people, practicing acceptance is super hard to do because you have to accept that this is the situation. This is how it is right now. And for a lot of people, they're like, I don't want to accept it because I don't like it. Well, you don't have to like it, you don't have to agree with it, and yet you need to accept that this is what it is right now. This is the current situation. So you want to accept the situation as it is. If we're talking about the current crisis that's happening, you have to accept that we are in fact experiencing a pandemic. That is the current situation, and that's what we would have to accept. Now, you can also use these tips to help you stop catastrophizing in other situations as well. I'm talking specifically about this current crisis because I know it is something that weighs heavy on a lot of people's hearts and also their thoughts. The second way to stop catastrophizing is to question your thoughts. Am I thinking the absolute worst thought? Is this the worst case scenario? Is this thought helping me? How is this thought helping me right now? Question the thought. And as you begin to question the thought, you start to see, like, you know what? Maybe this thought isn't very helpful, and maybe I am jumping to conclusions, or maybe I am snowballing. Maybe I have allowed my thoughts to snowball and grow into something much larger than it needs to be. So question the thought. The third way to stop catastrophizing is to think about how you would talk to your best friend. If your best friend was telling you how maybe afraid they were during this time, or how they were scared about a certain situation, how they didn't understand what was going on or why it was going on, how they thought because they got laid off from their job that they would never work again, and then they would be homeless, and then they would be a failure in life, and then nobody would want them. Do we see how the thoughts snowball? Because that is catastrophizing. So if your best friend came to you with those types of thoughts, how would you talk to him or her about it? Would you show compassion? Would you also question some of their thoughts in a compassionate and respectful way? Would you be thoughtful? How would you talk to your best friend about what it is that they're experiencing? And how would you talk to your best friend about what it is that you're experiencing? And if you were to talk to your friend in a way that was comforting and compassionate, then that's how I want you to talk to yourself. If your thoughts are making something larger than it needs to be, then I want you to start to practice talking to yourself with compassion, with kindness, and be comforting to yourself, because that will also help to stop the thoughts in their track. The fourth way to stop catastrophizing during a crisis is to practice helpful distraction. So what this means is you might watch a movie or a comedy, you might work on a different project, you might call a friend or family member, you might do something that's going to distract your thoughts for that moment. You're going to do something that's going to interrupt the thoughts. Why it's called helpful distraction or healthy distraction is because you're going to distract intentionally for a period of time to help interrupt the thoughts and help you recenter, and then you can go back to addressing what the situation is. You can go back to maybe trying to problem solve if that's appropriate. Remember that there are some things that we can't change. There are things that we have to learn how to accept. And this, let's take this current crisis as an example. Let's take this current situation as an example. There are things that we absolutely cannot change about it. We can't change that it's happening. That's not within our control. We can't change the type of news that's being put out. That's not in our control. We can't change who gets sick, unfortunately. That's not in our control. We can't change the weather. Like, we can't change so many different things. But we have to remember that there are some things that, one, we can change, and we also have to accept that this is what's happening right now and this is how things are. Now, again, because there are some things that you can change, focus on what it is that you can change. Focus on what's within your control. Sometimes, and this happens a lot with catastrophizing, with magnifying a situation or magnifying your thought, we tend to do that with things that we care about. And because of that, we want to be able to control everything about it. So because you care about your family, of course you want to be able to control whether or not they get sick. Because you care about yourself and your livelihood, of course you want to control whether or not you lose your job. And yet there are things that we can't control. Those things right now we cannot control. But there are some things that we can do. There are some things that are within our power. So if you have your job, if you are still going to work, what can you do to still show up and be the best person you can be? If you are working from home, what else can you do? Like, how can you still make sure that you are getting your work done and not maybe just like going off to the side, having a margarita in the middle of the day? That would be lovely. But, you know, how are you making sure that you continue to be productive? Not busy, but productive when you need to be. Helpful or healthy distraction is what you do to distract yourself intentionally for a period of time. You can distract yourself with things that are helpful for you. So not anything that's going to stress you out even more, not anything that's going to be hurtful or harmful to you, but things that are still going to be helpful. So the example I gave earlier was to maybe watch a movie. Maybe you don't want to watch a movie about a pandemic. Maybe you want to watch a romantic comedy, or you want to watch a comedy or an action-packed movie. You want to watch something that's going to not have you think about the current situation, the current crisis that you are in. So keep that in mind. That's why it's called healthy or helpful distraction. Distractions that will help you in your time of need. The fifth thing or final way for this list to help you to not catastrophize, to help you to stop catastrophizing during a crisis, is to practice self-soothe or use self-soothe. And so you can use self-soothe with your 5 senses. An example of that would be taking a shower and using an essential oil in the shower. That is very calming. You can, you know, lather up with your favorite soap. Maybe it has a fragrance that you enjoy, a fragrance that's calming for you. In terms of essential oils, maybe you can use lavender in your shower, or peppermint, or eucalyptus, which is very calming for you. Lavender, we know, can help reduce anxiety, and so that's something that could be beneficial for you. Another example of self-soothe is to practice maybe a loving kindness meditation, where you put your hand over your heart and you recite the mantra or the affirmations that are part of that meditation. You can do so many things. You can eat your favorite food. If it's something that is unhealthy, then just have a little bit of it. But you can take a moment to color mindfully. You can drink your favorite cup of tea. Right now, this is a detox tea, but one of my tea blends that I enjoy it has lavender and chamomile and peppermint. And for me, it's very like calming. It's a very calming tea. I like to blend different herbs and make teas. So anyway, you can drink your favorite tea. That's part of self-soothe as well. Again, you want to use your different senses, use your five senses in order to help you self-soothe, to help you feel calmer, to help you feel more at peace. Because believe it or not, you can feel calmer, you can feel at peace even during a crisis. I know for some people it may not feel that way, but you can. It is a practice, just like every and anything else. It is a practice. And the more you practice learning how to be at peace, the more you practice stopping your thoughts that might be magnifying unhelpful thoughts, the more you'll notice that you are present and that you have less anxiety, you have less worry, you have less stress. So it is definitely important. These are just 5 ways to stop catastrophizing. Of course, there are more things that you can do, but I thought these were great steps to start off with. So that's why I gave them to you. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I have my diffuser behind me. And so if you have a diffuser, you can, again, use your essential oils and you can sit and maybe meditate or just sit in silence, because that's also a form of meditation. You can just sit and breathe in the aroma, or leave your diffuser on and go and maybe straighten up your apartment or your house or room and come back, and the room then feels like so fresh and awesome because of the great smells that you can have with your different oils. I tend to use a lot of lavender, and there's this blend actually from Arbonne called Focus that I really love. I have multiple bottles of it because it has this it's a blend, and it has like a citrus kind of smells. It's very calming. I like it. So I tend to use that one and lavender as well for me, but maybe for you it's a different essential oil. It's a different smell. So anyway, my point is you can also use your diffuser to help you with self-soothing and to help you to relax. Again, these are 5 ways that you can stop catastrophizing during a crisis, because you don't have to allow your thoughts to snowball. You don't have to only think of the worst case scenario. Even during a crisis, you can allow yourself to find those moments of calm and peace. It might be challenging, but it is doable. So I want you to practice these 5 things. I want you to do them if you haven't already, and see how they help you. And let me know in the comments if there's something that you do that helps you to stop catastrophizing. So again, if you magnify your thoughts, what do you do to bring yourself back? What do you do to bring your thoughts back? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. As always, I hope you have a courageous day, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye.